I was gonna say, oh, another Planet Lyle thing, but then I remembered. This isn't BPNR. The sun sets over Southern California, and on to this was now a fictional racetrack. It no longer exists, unfortunately. This is round two of the Budweiser Cup Series. They headed to Auto Club Speedway for their edition of the Auto Club 400. Whilst they are qualifying, let's take a look at our point standings heading into this race. It mostly resembles what occurred at Daytona. Your 500 champion Sierra Cooper leads the standings with Arthur Xavier second, Sheena Nolman third, Lanny Pavlon fourth, Garcia fifth, Bowman sixth, Fisher seventh, Simpson in eighth, Schmidt at ninth, and Lieb your top 10. Only 9 of those 10 bothered to finish the Daytona 500, so still very early into the season and still plenty of time to make up that detriment. Those drivers who aren't listed, especially considering they DNF'd from the race. Got 1 minute still. Might as well just pray for anything. Qualifying has wrapped up, so it is Skylar Deeg. I hope I said that right. Dig, and Deegan, I don't know. But they're on pole. Lanny Pavlon second, Gregory third, Shionome in fourth. Shionome was looking really promising in practice. Hope that translates well into the race. Row 3 has Hector Garcia and Friesen Rodriguez. Row 4 has Aiden Scott and Sierra Cooper. Row 5, Laura Trenor and Jackson Brown. Row 6 has Julian Bowman and Arthur Xavier. Row 7 has Ryder Lieb and Oliver Leon. And 15 is last person to set a qualifying time, that is Max Berkheimer. Then it is Noah Hogard and Harrison G-Man, opting not to set a qualifying lap. And your 500 champion just last week, Sierra Cooper, who stayed out of trouble when it mattered most and is able to grab that win. Kudos to him. Might as well talk penalties while we were, I still don't hear the ambulance, but oh well, it is what it is. Hector Garcia looked very promising at Daytona and just didn't. He just got the bad end of the stick numerous times, unfortunately, and I do not have his car file, unfortunately, for this week. Arthur Xavier, runner-up in last Friday's race, now sporting the Office Depot livery. But anyway, up to penalties. I must start by Bobby Simpson since he isn't here tonight. It's only a noted incident for the bad push at the exit travel into turn 1, and just a note for him. Also not here is Joe Shimoda, who puts up a pretty bad racing line through turns 3 and 4, gets on the apron, and just kills people. That's just unfortunate. See, someone who is here. Oliver Leon, remember last week he was not in the TeamSpeak, and that prompted a disqualification for him. But now, this week, he is in the TeamSpeak, so he should have all communications for this race. Hopefully he does at least something of value. And a final penalty to look at is for the 88 car, who I don't think is on track right now. They are not, but they were warned for putting up a poor block into turn 1 and causing a massive pile up. I think that was at 5 to go that prompted the final caution of the race. I could be wrong. But what to look forward to in this race specifically? Well, again, I've seen these drivers and you kind of just see them right now actually. They're liking that top lane. It got a lot more grip and you can carry out a lot more speed in the nighttime conditions. So that's likely just going to be your ways of moving up the orders. Trying to go to the outside. Unless you could pull a slide job, not like that necessarily, but if you could pull a slide job in a similar motion that Hector Garcia just tried doing during happy hour, then well, that's your only two ways of moving forward. 30 seconds left in happy hour. Got a good amount of cars here. Got 15 cars slated to take the green flag tonight in the Auto Club 400. Momentarily, we will get underway. So what to do in terms of strategy? Well, fuel on these 2-mile tracks can take you at somewhere in the 25-26 lap range, so a one stop is definitely possible. If you're the leader, then that may force you to pit a lap early, but if you're within draft and you've been backing off the throttle, then it may pay you dividends by only needing a one-stop strategy. Yeah, I believe I'm not gonna get admin communications here in the booth. I'll just have to relay to chat, because I think it's Shunoman who just types in caution regardless. So, yep, it is what it is. But happy hour is complete, and we are grading.
Drivers, to your cars.
Okay. Well, we're waiting. Let's set up our cameras here. You there, then
Start your engines.
pit exit cam. All the way in the backstretch. Spectator cam is practically useless tonight. Tonight's race, 50 laps, 2x spare, with cup physics, but not in a custom EXE like we were last time. It's just a default EXE. And points on a return at 4 to go. Get healthy amount of cars in the Budweiser Cup Series. Under the lights in California. Ace car heads in. It will be Skylar Digg and Joseph Lanny Pavlon leading the field to green. And there they go. Green flag is out. Underway in California. Berkheimer already in the grass. We barely got to the start finish line before he already dipped his toes in. Couple people in the wall. That's Hector Garcia. Don't want to get damaged too early. It can cost you a lot of speed here. But Wayne Gregory in the number 12 Horizon Dodge is gonna have to set sights on Joseph Landy Pavlon, who leads the opening lap. And just like I pretty much feared, there's a whole tranny outside, but Gregory's looking for the lead on that bottom lane, second groove up. A lot of lanes to pick from in Auto Club Speedway. And there's a wreck in the back. That is Ryder Lieb and Hector Garcia. Unsure if that will be a caution. Oh my god, more contact in the front stretch. That's Jukasho Nome spinning. He'll find himself in the grass. And same is Friesen Rodriguez. No caution for either of them. I presume it's just a three cars needed, but Winnie Gregory, and that's a third wreck. We're only on laps 3. That he collects him and there's a G-Man. I was expecting field spread, but not this early on. It's just 3 wrecks occurred in close succession. But while it's in that chaos, Skylar Deacon and your pole sitter side by side trying to reclaim the lead. But GLP with the grip on the outside, able to hold tough. Skylar Deacon, I'm gonna have to try again. Ian Scott in third. I haven't heard of him. Don't know much about his experience, but he is sure a healthy contender for the race lead right now. As he gets tight on the bottom, he's gonna, well, middle lane rather. He nearly clips the 13, but both of them get to live. And I believe our caution is out. Again, I don't have communications with the admin, so I have no idea. But it looks to be just that, as they nearly wrecked while slowing down. So first caution of the night here at Auto Club Speedway. JLP leads the race back. Deeg second and Scott third. Let's see. I don't know what specifically brought out the caution, because it could be any of the 3 wrecks we saw, but... The wreck I did find, though, is with Berkheimer. 96 car, he goes really low in its turn 3 on the flat. He's going to find his way backwards at turn 4. And don't think anyone hits him. I think he's just in a bad spot, and he is out. So that will be our first retirement, unfortunately. We do have one card that stayed out, that is Noah Hogard in the 158 with the duck on rubber ducky on the logo. On the hood. I can't speak. But everyone comes in. Well, except him, of course. Going to be only a splash for the 13 card, Deegan. The rest of the field will take 4 tires. Second off will be Friesen Rodriguez. Third place, Lenny Pavlon. Only took us 4, well, 4 incidents and I want to say 7 different spinning race cars before we finally get a caution flag for any of them. But on the caution for the first time, and it's actually Noah Hogard leading. He stayed out, but he pits this time round, so the lead would go to Skylar Deeg, who only took fuel on that stop. Vincent Rodriguez will inherit second, and Lanny Pavlon third, Scott fourth, Tranor fifth, Brown in sixth, Cooper seventh, G-Man eighth, Leon ninth, and Bowman completing your top 10. First retirement? Question mark? I need to check something. Yeah, it doesn't show 17s for some reason, but Max Berkheimer is your first retirement of the race, unfortunately. There looks to be a black flag for Jackson Brown. He'll go to the end of the longest line. And same is Arthur Xavier. And Hogard is... I don't... Yeah, it's just runner confusion. It's just... Hogard did stay out, but then pitted the second time round, so he shouldn't be the leader. So yeah, the rest of the field will have to catch up to the 158 car. And Julian Bowman in the pits as well. They lapped? Yeah, they're lapped down now, so... Yeah, the 158 pitted a second time round, as opposed to the 13 on 1 and the rest of the grid, who pitted first time round. He shouldn't be the leader. Just hopefully they get one. Yeah, now they're correcting the running order, so the 158 will drop to the rear. And Bowman's still on pit lane, the number 88 Menards. Ford, that is? Chevrolet. So I believe we're going green this time, considering the race leader is in second gear, the preferred gear to use here. Well, down the first now. We're waiting. Yeah, Renault's going green. Still under the first caution period, and it's taken us quite a bit. Hector Garcia tops off of fuel. Might as well get warm tires while at it. I believe the 88 towed, or had to tow, so they're just stuck there. They're saying there is a timer, which likely means that they can't repair the car, but I don't see any damage, at least one I can see. It could be an RNG failure and they haven't realized it yet. I think. Oh yeah, they're out of the race, so it was indeed a mechanical issue for Julian Bowman. So that'll be our second retirement of the race. It just sucks when your race is decided by RNG. But this time we should go green this time, but to complete 9 laps out of 50. And up the gears they go, green flag, back out. They fan out down the tri-oval. They will try to figure their way through. Can go on board with Xavier as he tries to sort through the mess in the back for a penalty. Or either a penalty or just opted to go to the rear. But look at that train along the outside of the lane. It's going to be especially difficult to pass unless you get stuck in the wall. That's Skylar Deegan. Or Deeg. And there's trouble towards the back. That's Brown and Leon. And William Gregory's spitting in a trial oval. And it'll be caution number 2. We didn't get much farther than last time. If I can find who's leading. That'll be Frieza Rodriguez, who won the race back, Pavlon and Scott second and third. So first let's show you what happened with Skylar Deeg. The race leader just gets too close to the wall and it's pretty much like glued. You're kind of stuck there, unfortunately. Garcia gives them rear end damage. But in the back here is likely what prompted the caution flag. See, there's Noah Hogard. Oh. Who was that? I think that's Leon who cut across. I think it'd be better to go on board. It's Jackson Brown, and yep, Leon did just that. He cut across at number 19. And that triggered a 3-car pileup on the backstretch into turn 3. Worthy of a caution. One more thing to look at is over here where, if I can find them, Shinonome goes for a spin. Or no. Both of them were orange cars, my bad. It was G-Man who slides up and turns Gregory around and takes himself out with him. So that'll be our second caution of the day. Everyone stays out except for Hogarth, I believe. Well, he can always just look back. Only a handful this time around. It is Deeg, who found himself in a wall. Gregory, Brown, Leon, and Hogarth. Pretty much all the cars that wrecked. Currently under our second caution of the night in the Budweiser Cup Series, round 2 at Auto Club Speedway. Friesen Rodriguez has the race lead, with Landy Pablo second, Aiden Scott third, Lotranor P4, Sierra Cooper P5, Hector Garcia P6, Arthur Xavier P7, Ryder Lieb P8, Shinonome P9, and Harrison G-Man completing your top 10. Leader first gear, and we are green. A nice launch for the top 2 of Rodriguez and Pavla. The rest are just gonna have to work together to reel them back in. Nearly 3 wide towards the back here, but there is 3 wide action with Lieb into Erwin Carr. Don't try and make it 4. And they're gonna wreck once more. That is Jeepman and Gregory once again. They're viewed from the last caution, but what triggered the final. Most recent caution hasn't ended just yet between those two. Will only be a single car accident as there are more trouble. That's Friesen Rodriguez wrecking from the race lead. The top 2 have wrecked. They're 5 wide down the front stretch. And it's going to be caution number 3. Aiden Scott has just pulled a miracle. He was running 3rd and now has the race lead. I guess it's much like Daytona where you got something, but then you got a run going, but then later on it's just kind of just not been able to do anything. Barely get a lap in. See G-Man. Yeah, it's much like before where he turns up into Gregory and wrecks himself. Get on board with Gregory. And I just have a feeling that it's not intentional by the 97. It's just a tie race car, and no amount of grip can save you from wrecking like that. Just a whole lot understeer. Meanwhile, what happened here between the top 2? Well, Friesen got close to the wall, had the brake save, and Pavlon just had nowhere to go. Get quick on board with him before we check into the pit lane. And there he is in the pit lane along with Gregory. Rodriguez, G-Man, pretty much the 4 cars that wrecked in their 2 separate accidents. It'll be Rodriguez leading that battle off the pits with Pavlon and G-Man. And there's Gregory just leaving. Quick drink. Under our 3rd caution of the night in the Budweiser Cup Series, Aiden Scott has found himself in the lead, with Sierra Cooper, your Daytona 500 champion, in 2nd place. Skylar Deeg, your pole sitter for this race, starts 3rd. It'll be Tranor in 4th, Xavier 5th, Garcia 6th, Lieb 7th, Brown 8th, Shinonome 9th, and Leon, your top 10 as we about to hit the restart. And there they go, green flag, back out. And that was not a good launch for either of the top two. Skylar Deeg, with that speed, able to go to the lead even before turn 1. And Cooper in the wall gives Garcia a chance, but he decides not to use it. Can it just honestly just stay in the train? As much as I hate train racing, that's your best bet, as there's Skylar Deegan in the wall again. So it was an amazing restart for the number 13, and now they're having to do it all over again in terms of working their way back up the grid. And reason for because that's just a lot of people have been grazing the wall, and at some point you gotta understand that, hey, you're pushing too much, just take it easy. These are heavy stock cars. And a battle for second as we go on board with Cooper, though Trenor, who restarted fourth, up to second place. Wall smack. And we're running the top lane, but the top lane being the dominant line of this racetrack, that kind of just inadvertently narrows the racetrack. You could make moves on the bottom, but that's just costing you a good amount of speed as Brown gets mid-corner, gets bump drafted down the tri-oval and nearly spins from it. But yeah, when you have a car up against the wall, you're really reluctant to get off the top lane. That just narrows down how much room you got, and that's ultimately what causes these wrecks. You have all this space around you for a reason. It's not just because to make it, there's more lanes to it than the dominant lane. You have those options, especially when you're avoiding wrecks. You gotta find new ways to, make passes. You gotta look around. And Gregory with the hit his steam on the outside, able to take fourth place away. And comes Trenor for the lead in the number 18. Going to pull a slide jump. Clears Aiden Scott for the lead. And she will lead her first lap of the night as their 3 wide. This is for 8th place, 7th. That will be acquired by G-Man, Deeg, and Ace. Xavier tries best in 9th. Gonna have to fend up against Jackson Brown in order to keep that position. You got Cooper, he's searching. Oh, it's gonna be contact as soon as I mention it. It'd be... that would be Hector Garcia going for a spin. Only a single car accident. But yeah, those lanes are available to use, not just because they're slower, but it makes you it forces you to slow down and prevent you from smacking the wall, much like the 3 cars ahead of Cooper at that time had to do. Yeah, Pavlon in 5th place, trying to fend off these are the 2 front row sitting cars for this race. Here comes Gregory, taking a peek in the inside, go on board with them. He chips the wall, so the 12 gets a run, but not big enough. only pulls him closer. So I think they got my message that how these drivers need to start slowing down for the corners. Oh boy, and they're about to run over each other. They're still reluctant to get out of the top lane. And Trenor looking for the lead, but unable to do so. Ian Scott gets a good corner. And Trenor gonna try to make a move for the lead as she did before. Unable to do it this time. Oh boy. And they saved it. Here's a G-Man that was sideways at the exit turn 4. Kudos to him, and now they're about to go 3 right for second place. Aiden Scott in the middle lane. Cooper crushes the wall again, but Abe is able to make the pass. We got Pavlon using the bottom lane. He sees that these cars are bottling up in the top lane from training. They're too close to each other, so he's trying to go to the bottom lane, pick up any position you get, and just slot in as soon as you can if there is an open spot. Get G-Man in the wall, but no one runs into him. But he finds a fellow Erwin Tools car to draft with. We have breached halfway in the Auto Club 400 for the Budweiser Cup Series, as they are still ramping on against each other 3 right down the front stretch. It is Le Tourneur who leads the way with Sierra Cooper second, trying to go back to back, with Aiden Scott having to fend off a hungry group of cars for third place. Yeah, Pat Blunt with that middle, oh boy. And Scott nearly gets turned. JLP into the top 3. You guys sure know, man. We haven't mentioned him for a little while. And they're just getting ever so close to each other. As Deke gets a push from G-Man to get alongside Gregory. That'll be for 6th place. Got a car coming out of the pits. That is Noah Hogard. Excuse me. Get 3 right here. And Sky having to lift off to avoid a wreck. And he's still gonna be trapped. No, he's clear. He got a win or the lead from a little bit of luck on his side, and now he's falling back to 7th place. So I suppose those tires are just too old for him to be able to keep up. So right now, these drivers are in the fuel window to pit and make it to the end of the race from here. Restart on lap 6. Well, restart at 24, so unless they've been saving, and I do suspect a pit stop out of these guys and gals, and anything in between. This is for 9th place. Scott has the run down the backstretch. Oh, very close here, and he's going to get into Shinonome. Then go completely around, but I don't think the 51 car will appreciate it. And it's Brian Lee in the pits. watching tire fall out there, at least with Trenor, they are 1.2 seconds off the fastest lap, so I suspect at the end of the run it's going to be at least 2 seconds of fall off with these tires. But again, the fuel window is open, but I don't suspect these drivers are going to want to, or if you're smart enough, you don't want to go all the way until the end of the fuel run. You want to split this in half. So wherever lap the restart was on to the end of the race, split that in half. So that'll be Arthur Xavier, who is called into pits, but he is nowhere near close to the draft. But even Scott, we talked about him, he had those old tires, and he's going to be the one to watch in this pit cycle. Finds it down to 55 miles per hour for pit lane, as Pavlon's trying to make the move for second place. Stuck side by side with Sierra Cooper, Friesen Rodriguez. And let's re-enter the picture. And gonna follow Cooper through. And can Pavlon in the pits. Following him will be Gregory. And that leaves 3 in this draft, but Stieg, despite the rear end damage, is still keeping it within the top places. Suspect these leaders to react, whether to keep going or to pit. And looks like that all 4 of them are going to pit. Behind them is Jackson Brown. Noah Huggard already pitted, and Skylar Teague has missed the pits. Really unfortunate for the pole sitter. They're gonna have to go around again. That's going to cost them big. We'll see. Out of these 4 cars, well, now. Now that they're packed together, which one of them would take the fastest stop and lead their way out of the pits? Currently, lap 35 of 50 pit stops ongoing. These are the leaders who are on the pits. I believe Oliver Leon is last, but it'll be Noah Trenor with the fastest pit stop out of the 4 of them. They're going to lead out of the pits. Friesen Rodriguez follows, but it's going to take a while for Jackson Brown and Sierra Cooper to get out and join back onto the track. Shionome beats them off. G-Man has now found himself in this group. And it's a black flag for the number 97, and they're going to spin on the apron, trying to rejoin the racetrack. This is just turning heads right now. JLP ahead of Trenor. Lead back into the pits. Yeah, then 15's lap, so I believe I'm correct. This is the leaders. Landy Pavlon and the number 68, followed by the 18 of Laura Trenor. Friesen Rodriguez third. So who is scored the leader? That's a good question. It is Skylar Deeg. Yet to pit. We saw them miss it. And they're just gonna have to pray for a caution to get them back into this thing. It's going to be this lead group were the ones we're looking for at the race bin down the backstretch, right out, and they're close to getting lapped by Deeg. 2 seconds off their fastest lap right now, so yes, the tires have fallen off quite significantly they are still due a pit stop, as these group of three have pretty much pitched in together to remain in draft, and for just gonna have to wait and see when one one of the two drivers of Trenor and Rodriguez make the move. Landy Pavlon for Leon gets put a lap down amongst these drivers. '97 crew still protesting their penalty for unsafe merge. They spun out, and the apron turns 1 and 2, hence the black flag. Sierra Cooper out of the pits, so they must have black flag on top of that slow pit stop. And Skylar League has finally pitted, so that means these three are going to acquire the top 3 places as they come across the line with 11 laps to go in the Auto Club 400. JLP leads with Trenor second, Friesen Rodriguez third place, and William Gregory P4. Then it's gonna be a little while before we find Ian Scott in 5th place. And it's Shinonome 6th, Jackson Brown 7th, Skylar Deeg 8th, Arthur Xavier 9th, and it will be Noah Hogard completing your top 10 as he is about to go a lap down. Cycles us back to the leaders, actually. Pretty convenient. William Gregory has gotten by the lap car of Oliver Leon, so he is still in a conversation for this win with 10 laps to go. I suppose with those pit stops, it is crucial that you get the track position. JLP has done just that because it's been top lane dominance all race. No one has been able to get close enough to perform a slide job and keep it. No Trenor in the wall that gives Friesen Rodriguez a chance. There he goes. He's gonna go fake low and shoot up into the top lane. And this will be the exchange for a second, assuming either one of them completes it. It's gonna be a block by Trenor. That'll slow both of them down. Here comes Gregory with the ballsy move up against the wall to get their place, but the limping 0-1 car of Friesen Rodriguez. It's a Friesen Rodriguez that has to work his way back up, but assuming he can, that puts in William Gregory as the next best threat, and he's got a run on Trenor. Doesn't take it, but he's gonna have to work with her to reel them back into the personal space of Landy Pavlon. The point of no return is soon, so at roughly 3 or 4 laps until then. If someone's going to get a lucky dog, it'll be the 15 of Oliver Leon. Friesen Rodriguez, after the incident between him and Trenor, he is back in the fight. And here comes Trenor for the lead. I don't know about it. I don't know. You do have to make the move, but I don't think it's the right time to do it. You gotta set yourself up right in order to make the pass. And she's going a groove lower than GLP is, trying to cut out the dirty air. Not that there is any of it, but just trying to find a different line to take. As they reach 5 laps to go, the top 4 all within a blanket. Gregory brushes the wall once and twice, but Rodriguez is going to give him a bump draft. At this point, Friesen, well, he's gonna look to the inside, but I'm just thinking teamwork. You gotta find a way to shuffle out GOP. And if they're able to do that, that gives you a better chance to go for the win. Now they got the proper track position. But Janor, with the headed steam as they'll fight for themselves in third place, Janor is gonna go for the lead. She tried it once before, wasn't able to do so. She's gonna try again, and it's the same result. Unable to make the move. It is 3 laps to go this time. Points in no return. We race to the end. Rodriguez is trying to find anything. He's desperate. He needs to find a way around Gregory, then around Chanor to get himself in a good track position to pounce on Landy Pavlon, but he hasn't been able to get by that 12 car ever since he caught him. Well, I did mention teamwork a few laps ago, but I think at this point, with 2 to go, that's just out the window. You're just gonna have to fight forever you can. As Friesen Rodriguez will do just that, or at least try to. Gregory gets the wall, and they're gonna have to fight for third. That leaves Trenor with no drafting help from behind. Lord Trenor is gonna have to find any way around Joseph Landy Pavlon. If they come off turn 4, white flag is out. Final lap from California. Ika Trenor. It's her last chance. And I mean it. She's gonna go for the slide job. And JLP is going to cross her over, breaking her ankles. But here comes Friesen Rodriguez. Oh, he doesn't have anywhere to go. He's getting forced to push the 68. Oh, contact. Chanora with another slide job gets into the wall. And out of turn 4, it'll be Joseph Landy Pavlon who wins at Auto Club. You know what? A great finish. Gregory smacks into the wall. Friesen Rodriguez likely disconnected. But Landy Pavlon did it right. He pitted. He was one of the first to pit and just stayed in the lead. He was not frightened with the dive bombs Tronor was making. He was able to cross her over and fend off Friesen Rodriguez all at the same time. I call on the Maverick promoter because he, no matter what, no matter what he does, he just finds a way to promote Maverick in one way or another. But the Maverick promoter has something to promote about this time. He burns it down in front of the Californian crowd. Kinda just a messy start, but has cleaned up ever since, and GLP delivers. Gonna go to the victory lane, which is right here. Yeah, a bit off-centered, but it's fine. Nothing we can do about it. Great, great finish to have ourselves our second race of the season. Comes our unofficial results. GLP wins with Lord Trenor also close in second place. William Gregory third. That's not the right number card. I do apologize. Frida Rodriguez fourth place. Chico Shionome top five finish. Jackson Brown in sixth. Skylar Deeg in seventh. Aiden Scott in eighth. Arthur Xavier ninth. And Oliver Leon completes the top 10. Hector Garcia 11th. Noah Hogard 12th. Sierra Cooper 13th. Harrison G-Man 14th. Ryder Lee 15th. Julian Bowman 16th with the engine failure. And Max Bergheimer with the early wreck will win in last car in 17th place. Yeah, 50 laps down at All Club. 100 laps completed this season so far, and just they have some stuff to work on, but overall, I do enjoy it. No interviews right now. Well, no one's wanting an interview, but um, quickly do that. So if until we get an interview, maybe I don't know. Coming up in our online space right now is Gnarl at Chicagoland. Zach is not streaming as he won't be home in time. So he will be back later on, however, for Essex at Rockingham. That's not going to go well. I'm saying this as the off-track admin. Rockingham is not going to go well. Tomorrow night, IFAR heads to Lucas Oil Raceway Park. That will be streamed on Cheesefood Media at 9:30. And Tuesday, BPNR heads to the first road course race of the season at Barbagallo. That will be streamed Tuesday here on MCRP. Then next Friday, for the Budweiser Cup Series, they go to their first road course of the season at Riverside, the defunct California track. Two back-to-back defunct tracks located in California. This one being long and closed, but has provided some really good action on the NR side of things. No matter what league you look at, OSCC, 150, just anything, even Budweiser ran here last time. It was alright. If the cautions weren't an issue. Doesn't seem like anyone wants to be interviewed, so I might as well wrap it up. So, Budweiser, same time next week, next Friday. So, until Tuesday for BPNR, I shall see you next time.